Welcome to Display Night. My name is Mr. Swinney. I'm an orchestra teacher here at Pleasant Valley, and I am also here with representatives from Griggs Music and West Music, and we're here to get you excited about being in orchestra. To get started tonight, I'm actually going to show you a slideshow and just kind of explain the orchestra program. But before I do that, I want to point you to our orchestra webpage. All right. So to get there, probably the easiest way I've found to get there is to type in Pleasant Valley Orchestra into your Google search, and then this is what should come up. And if you click on that, it should take you right to the Pleasant Valley Orchestra webpage. You'll see that we have a fourth grade registration information ready to go right there. So you can go ahead and just click on that and register for orchestra. So if I were to do that, then it would take me to a Google form, and you can fill that out when it's convenient for you, and they'll get right to us. Okay. There's other information here as well. We're probably going to put some more information up in this area where you can actually watch us demonstrating the instruments and all of that. By the time this video is published, that information might be up there as well. We have some information that we sent home back in March before the shutdown about the orchestra program, which is this letter right here. And so that's there. The other thing that's important to realize is the schedule that we're going to be using. So we're in the hybrid AB schedule, and if you click this link right here where it says hybrid AB, elementary morning orchestra choir, you just click on that and you can see what our schedule is. And it looks kind of complicated, but the purple times are for fourth grade orchestra. And you'll see that the way we'll be doing it is we'll be having orchestra class at each elementary school, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But you'll need to see, where your when your school meets and on what day and all that. So you'll want to have that reference available to you to figure out. Okay, and if there's any updates, we will update this document so that that's all in place. All right, so that's the schedule. Back to the website. It's again. There's another letter down here that this explains the entire orchestra program in detail. It has links to all of our email addresses and all that stuff. So you can look at that if you want to, but I'm not going to take the time to go through all of it tonight because it's a lot of information and explains the whole orchestra program 4 through 12. Okay, so let's go back to our slideshow demonstration, and I want to give this as a presentation. So welcome to orchestra. I'm excited that we have students who are interested in joining orchestra this year, and we're going to try to make the best of it. It's not going to be a year like any other, of course, because of all the changes that we have to adapt to. But we will make our best effort, and we will try to bring orchestra to all the students who want to participate. Okay, so here we go. Now, typically we show this video as people are kind of getting settled in for this meeting. I'm not going to show the video tonight because it's on YouTube and it probably has some copyright issues with it. But if you go to YouTube and type in "How Playing an Instrument Benefits Your Brain" by Nina Collins, it's a nice little video that just kind of sums up all the benefits of participating in music and how that helps your brain. All right. The orchestra teachers here at Pleasant Valley are on this page here. Mrs. Calderon. She is our 6th grade orchestra director. Mrs. Dietz is our junior high orchestra director and also teaches 5th grade. I'm Mr. Swinney, and I teach the high school orchestra, and I also teach a 4th grade orchestra. And Mr. Starovich is our 4th grade orchestra and 5th grade orchestra director. He also is our elementary coordinator. Okay, and then we have 2 lesson teachers who only teach lessons, and that's Mrs. Vendeveld and Mrs. Weber. All right, so those are orchestra teachers. Their duties are changed a little bit due to the hybrid schedule, so we'll be talking more about that in just a moment. This is Mr. Starovich. Mr. Starovich would normally be starting off our presentation tonight, but he's under the weather, so he's at home. But this is him, and again, he's our elementary coordinator, and he is kind of in charge of scheduling the lessons and getting all the elementary orchestra programs working together. All right, he does a really good job of that. But we just can't be here tonight. So if you have any questions about the orchestra program, it's good to email Mr. Starovich, or you can email myself, but just keep in mind that he's our person that deals primarily with elementary. All right, registration form and costs. All right, so please submit the online registration form. We already talked about where to find that. There is no charge for orchestra class or individual or small group lessons. Okay, that's all. There's no charge for any of that. Okay. Right now we're on the hybrid AB schedule. So this is how we're doing it with the orchestra classes and the meet before school. So orchestra class meets at each student's home elementary school from 7:30 to 8:20 a.m. in the music room once every 2 weeks. So typically we would have class twice a week, but now we're only having class once every 2 weeks. Okay, so it's very important that students attend class when we are at your elementary school. All right. See the PV Orchestra website for the schedule, and I've already shown you where to find that. Parent drop-off, students for class. So parents, you'll need to drop off your students by 7:30 on your orchestra day, and you'll need to bring your instrument from home. Okay, cellos and basses. We still want you to bring your instrument from home because we don't have all the instruments at each elementary school. But it's also a good opportunity for you to get your instrument tuned if you bring it to class on that one day you bring it to class. And then, of course, you want to take that instrument home when you go home that day. All right. Music stands are provided during class, so you don't need to bring a music stand. Okay. Let's see if I can hide that. All right. Here we go. Orchestra class. Oh, this is in the regular schedule. So typically during a regular schedule, let me see if I can back up a slide here. And talk about lessons. All right, so hybrid lessons. So during this hybrid schedule, the A and B schedule that we're dealing with, lessons will be online. So we'll only have lessons online on their at-home day. So we'll be trying to schedule that so that it works with your elementary classrooms. And that's going to be once per week if we can get that worked out. All right. Lessons are scheduled, and students should take their instruments home again every day. Just another reminder about that. Okay. Now, in the regular in-person regular schedule that we would normally be in, let me just kind of briefly go how that would work. Normally, we'd be meeting on Monday and Wednesday mornings at the junior high school, and most students would ride the junior high bus to the elementary school. And in order to get that information about which bus to get on, you could call the bus telephone number in there, and it can let you know where your bus stop is and time of pickup and all that kind of stuff. All right. Again, that is for the 100% in-person regular schedule, and I don't know when we'll go back to that, but when we do, we'll definitely send out a lot of information so that people understand how we're transitioning from that hybrid schedule into the in-person schedule. Okay. Lessons, if we go back to the 100% in-person, would be at school, and they're either individual or small group. With fourth graders, we typically have them in groups of 2 or 3, and that's at their home elementary school, and we schedule that so in coordination with the classroom teachers, so we try to find the best time. Individual and small group lessons are a really unique part of our program, and we want to keep doing that. Cellos and basses. We would typically use our junior high instruments at school, so you wouldn't have to bring those back and forth, and we would use the cellos and basses. We only have a couple of them at each elementary school. So for lessons, they could use their school instruments. All right. But again, while we're on the hybrid model, we have to use your at-home instruments. You have to bring those every day, just because we don't want kids sharing instruments and all the things we were concerned about with COVID. Okay. Concerts. Currently, we have 2 concerts. They're scheduled. We don't know if we'll actually have the concerts or what type of guidelines we'll have to follow. That hasn't been declared yet. So, but for right now, go ahead and mark these dates on your calendar, December 3rd and May 20th. 2 concert dates for elementary orchestras. All right, parent volunteer opportunities. We do have an orchestra booster program organization that meets, and they typically meet on the last Monday or Tuesday of each month. We were planning on having the meeting tonight after tonight's meeting, but we moved that to tomorrow night. So and it'll be virtual. We'll be doing it via Zoom or something like that. So, but we'll try and get that information out. If you want to participate, you can join those meetings. Mostly decisions that impact the program are made for the junior high and high school level. All right, but you're welcome to participate. Other volunteer opportunities will be for specific events, and we will send sign-up sheets and that kind of stuff out so that people can do that. Long-term commitment. We like to think of orchestra as being a long-term commitment. So once you start, you want to continue to be an orchestra. You want to continue to play music. You want to be with your friends for an orchestra. And if you start as a fourth grader, you could be playing, 8 or 9 years by the time you graduate from high school. And the students pictured here on this slide went on to Allstate and went on to study music in college. You can see, this is Kevin here. He's as a senior in high school and as a fourth grader way back then. All right, so it's a long-term commitment. We want students to stay in orchestra, and we want to try and see if you can do it when you're starting here as a fourth grader. See if you can make it through the whole year. All right, that's your commitment. See if you can do that, and then we take one step at a time from there. All right. Practicing. Practicing is one of those things that we have to do in order to get better, but it is a little bit of a struggle sometimes. So let's just talk about how we approach practicing. Practicing is, we want to think about quality over quantity. If you can practice every day, awesome. And the time you put into it, even if it's only for 5 to 10 to 15 minutes, if you work on some, the right music that we're asking you to work on, and you get that done, then you put the instrument away and you get ready for the next day. All right. And practicing is like our homework. And in the beginning of every book that this is our book that we'll be using, Essential Elements, you'll see that there is a page where we write assignments. And so we'll be doing that when we can touch your books. Virtually, we may have to just kind of send those out via Google Classroom. All right. But practicing is more fun the more you practice. It's like a circle. So you practice, and then you can play more music, and then it becomes more fun, and then you're going to want to practice some more so you can learn to play more music. If you think of it as a circle like that, then practice isn't so much a chore. It's more of something that you enjoy doing. All right. Homework is Essential Elements. I just talked about that. And please talk to us if you have any questions. Again, practicing can be a chore sometimes, and some people get frustrated when they're working on things. The best thing to do is to tell your orchestra teacher that you're having problems. Let us know if they're having trouble practicing at home, or if there's something that's not working right, and we'll do our best to try and help you. Okay? We want everybody to be successful. Another way to do that is to encourage at-home recitals and have practice buddies, so you can practice via Zoom and whatever. Okay, there are a lot of different ways you can practice, and with technology, hey, we're finding new ways to practice. It's sometimes can be kind of fun. All right, supplies. So an instrument that meets MENC, ASDA, and industry standards is important. So you want to have a good quality instrument that works well. All right. And we'll talk more about that, but when we talk about the MENC and ASTA, we're talking about the organizations that really are governing bodies for music education. And so that's what we return to in referencing those. So you want to get a good quality instrument, and you want to get a shoulder rest or a cello strap. So a shoulder rest looks like this, okay? And there are different types of shoulder rests. This is just one brand that works really well. Okay, that's for violins and violas, and that helps you hold the instrument up like this. All right. Without the shoulder rest, the violin tends to dip down. Okay, and we don't want that. The students need that extra support. Some other shoulder rests that are more on the less expensive side include sponges, and the sponges are okay. Some of them are really helpful, but they're not the best because they are sponges and they do give quite a bit. So if you can invest in a shoulder rest, it really is a good investment. It'll pay off in the long run. All right. A cello strap looks like this and is what we use in class. So students will use these at school, and they are best for anchoring the end pin of the cello. The cello has a long rod that sticks out the bottom of it, and it fits it right inside this little hole right here. And this hooks onto the chair, and that'll keep the chair or the cello from sliding around. All right, and protects the floor. And if you have nice floors at home, you want to have something to protect those floors, and this type of device works really well. Another type of device, which is called a rock stop, just kind of looks like a black donut, and it has a steel center that the infant can sit in, and then that works well on wood floors or tile floors or hard floors. Whereas the cello strap will work on different types of surfaces. Okay, extra strings are helpful to have if you can do that. If you keep those in your case, when the string breaks, we can replace it for you as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you have to take it to the music store and they'll put a new string on for you. It just takes a little extra time, right? Music stand. Music stand is one of those essential things that we have to have. At school, you'll provide with a music stand, but at home, you need to have something to put your music on. And if you don't have a music stand, students tend to either lay them flat, so you're looking down this way, or they prop them up on something that isn't so good. So music stand is meant to hold music. That's what it's designed for. And if you get a music stand, you'll be in good shape. Okay, just the folding music stands work really well. All right, so our first book is The Essential Elements, which is this book. We call it the Orange Book. All right, looks like that. And Essential Elements for Strings. There's also an online package that comes with it. It allows you to have access to all the recordings and things that go along with this book, so it makes it more fun to practice with. All right. The next book is our Suzuki book, and this is our solo book. Okay, we start working this in January, so you don't need it right now, although we do recommend that you go ahead and get it so that you can have it ready to go. Just put it on a shelf somewhere, and then when we tell you, hey, get that Suzuki book, it's time to get time to start working on it, then you'll have it and you'll be ready to go. Okay, so that's our materials. Now, let's talk about instruments. There are instruments of a wide variety of quality, and we want you to have an instrument of good quality that will sound good and is easy to play. Instruments that are out there on the internet and other places can be a lot cheaper, but they're also not really instruments. They're not designed like a real instrument is, and they're not made out of the materials that a real instrument is made out of. So we call those violin-shaped objects. All right, and violin-shaped objects, they look like a violin or a viola or a cello or bass, but they're just not made of the proper materials, and they tend to fall apart rather quickly. And so we'd rather you get a good instrument and one that sounds good, so you enjoy playing and will last. All right, and so that's what tonight is for, is to help you do that. All right, so avoiding the violin-shaped object problem. If you see something that's too good to be true, it probably is. So if you go on the internet or wherever and you find an instrument that's just, unbelievably cheap, like $20 to $30 to $40, something like that range, then that should, be some red flags, because an instrument of good quality that will last is probably going to cost closer to $300 if you were to buy it, or maybe a little bit more than that. But that's why we recommend leasing, okay, because the instruments are sized, and then as students grow, you'll grow into a bigger size. All right. Pictures can be deceptive. Okay, it might look great in the picture, but that doesn't mean it's made out of the proper materials. And I've seen videos on YouTube and other places where they're advertising that instrument and they're talking about it and they're showing it off and they're playing it as if it were a working instrument, and then when it shows up, it just isn't that. So these are things you just want to be careful of. Sound quality, playability, and construction are the important factors. Making purchase decisions with your teacher's guidance is highly recommended. If you have a question, something you're interested in, you can let us know about it, and then we can let you know, hey, yes, this is okay, or this is maybe something you might not want to get into. All right. Returning instruments that are of low quality is typically doesn't go well, and getting somebody to repair instruments of low quality isn't that easy because luthiers are it's going to cost you more to get it fixed than you probably put into the instrument initially. So those are things that we've had to struggle with over time. We really want our students to be successful, and we don't want to put them in it's an awkward place when they have an instrument that doesn't work and we really can't help them because it's not an instrument that we can make any better. All right, so that's why we're here tonight, is to kind of help understand all these little challenges. All right, here's our vendor requirement, our vendor statement that I'm required to read. So no student is required to rent, lease, or purchase a musical instrument from the companies who are present here tonight. Parents may obtain their child's instrument from any vendor source with which they are comfortable. By virtue of their participation in the instrument display night, Griggs Music and West Music have met the district's demanding standards. So there you go. All right. Those are the music stores that are here tonight. The school district provides a vendor safety net, and that's what this night is all about. The music stores presenting here tonight have agreed to participate and to meet our high expectations in quality and service. You're free to visit either music store. I mean, we don't have tables here tonight. You can go to the music store, or you can go to their websites, and you can choose what is the best plan for you. We recommend you do that. If you're going to go to the store, it's probably a good idea that you call first to make sure that they know you're coming, and they might have to reserve a spot for you, something like that. All right, so just keep that in mind as well. They do have rental totally online. So if you go to their website, you can they have measurement instructions, and they'll get you taken care of online as well. Vendors who are not present here tonight do not have or have not agreed to meet all these qualifications, and so that's our safety net. Is we're trying to provide you with vendors that we know are vending good quality instruments and providing good quality service to our school district. They come to our school district once a week or once every other week, and make sure that our parents and students and the teachers are happy with their service. So this is something that we think is very important to the success of our program. All right, rental instruments will be delivered to the junior high. So that's the idea, and that's what we've done in the past, is that the music stores, they take your orders and they bring them here to the junior high, and then the orchestra teachers work on them, and we get the finger tapes and rubber bands and other things put on them to make it easy to learn. So if you look at this picture, you see that there are finger tapes and there's bows or there's tapes on the bow, and those are things that we applied so it makes it easier to learn. And those are going to be really important when we're learning online, because those little helpers are going to be essential to us to really being able to help students learn. Instrument pickup night. So we'll have an instrument pickup night probably October 1st, and we'll send out instructions on how that'll work. We'll get the instruments ready, and then you'll come and you'll get your instrument and you'll take it home. All right. We might have, it kind of depends on what the situation is. We might have some type of tutorial explaining how to carry home the instrument. That either might be a virtual experience, or we might try and do something in person. But we'll try to include that as part of that package as far as picking your instrument up. Okay, broken instruments. It's important that you know how to carry your instrument, because if you make a mistake, then your instrument can end up looking like this. So it's important that you're careful with your instrument. We ask that only the students touch their instrument, okay? They're going to be the ones to learn how to handle it and how to take care of it. And we don't want to be sharing with our brothers and sisters and friends, because that's how accidents happen. Those other people don't know how to take care of the instrument. And so if an instrument gets dropped or is stepped on or something like that, it will break. It's made out of thin and tiny pieces of wood, and those can easily fall apart if we're not careful. All right. What if my student has previous playing experience? This is a question we get quite a bit. Some students start when they're much younger, and they're interested in participating in orchestra, and that's great. The only thing is, our fourth graders that are starting now are true beginners, all right? And so we like to keep fourth graders with fourth graders and fifth graders with fifth graders and such. So it's just making those other students who have already had playing experience, making them into leaders and making them be helpers in class. It might be that we'll start them out with individual lessons, so that they feel like they're being challenged in individual lessons. And then when the orchestra gets to a point where we think that the advanced player can go ahead and join in and be that leader without being too bored, we might just do that. We might make the recommendation. So if all the fourth graders start in October, say, maybe advanced players might join them maybe in November or later in December. Okay. Here's our picture of one of our fourth grade orchestras from the past. All right, playing in the gym at the high school. And our first day is going to be October 5th. And this will be in the elementaries. That might not be the first day of class at your elementary, kind of depends on the schedule, but that'll be the week that we start is October 5th for beginning orchestra students. All right, so we hope that you had all your answers or your questions answered. If not, you can email myself, Mr. Rob Swinney, or Lee Starovich, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. And please visit our website, and if you have any other issues, we'll be happy to get back to you as soon as we can.
Hi, my name is Matt Hartman. I am a road representative with West Music. I service all of the schools in the Pleasant Valley area. We're here tonight because your directors wanted to provide a safe place for you to get an instrument from that they trust and provide good quality instruments. To get an instrument through West Music, just visit rent.westmusic.com. It's going to have all the information that I'm about to tell you. So the first month is $39.95 for any instrument. That's viola, cello, violin, bass. After that month, the pricing changes depending on the instrument. It's a 36-month rent-to-own plan. So after 36 months, you will own the instrument. With that $39.95, you will get everything that you need to start: book, music stand, and care kit that includes a rock stop for the cello or a shoulder rest for the violin. Being that string instruments grow with your child, you won't actually get the first instrument that you rent. You will slowly, gradually go through quarter to full-size instruments, depending on the size. If you need help measuring your child for whatever instrument they're deciding, you can either come over to our store in Moline or online at rent.westmusic.com. There's a video to show you how you guys could do it yourself successfully. While you're renting with us, you're covered underneath our service protection plan. So if anything happens to the instrument, it's covered. So if they drop it, string breaks, you can just leave it with your director, and I will be by to pick it up. I come out to the schools once to twice, sometimes 3 times a week, but that's all dependent upon what your teachers need. So I can guarantee that I will be there within the week that you need something. Besides that, I'm really excited that you guys are deciding to embark on your orchestra playing endeavors. So have fun, play now, and play for life.
Hi, I'm Chris Foster. I'm the Pleasant Valley rep here for Griggs Music. This is going on my 14th year, and today I brought along a colleague here, Michael Wallman.
Hello.
From Griggs, and he's here to explain the lease program that we have here at Griggs. So go ahead, Michael.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you to the Pleasant Valley family. We're very excited for you that this is the beginning of your orchestra experience, learning an instrument that could be with you the rest of your life. I've been playing cello almost for 40 years. Hate to admit it. But the string lease program at Griggs Music is a very affordable, very convenient, and flexible way for you to have your instrument. It's based on a month-to-month contract. It is a lease program rather than a rent-to-own. Gives you the flexibility in knowing that while you're going to start off on a fractional instrument, something smaller than full size, whenever you need to size up or move to a different stringed instrument, if you decide to move from cello to violin or bass eventually, that's also included in our program. Just contact the store and come in. It's a quick process to get into that different instrument. It is a month-to-month contract, so if it doesn't work out for you, well, you can return it at any time. Speaking of getting your instrument, we do have a website, griggsmusic.com. And actually, because of COVID and everything happening with COVID, we would have preferred, for the safety of everyone and the health of everyone involved, your families and our employees, if you would go to the website, if you're interested in leasing with us, griggsmusic.com, there's a very convenient sizing chart, both for the upper strings as well as for cello. I believe bass as well. Once you've completed that online form, either the instrument will be delivered as your program, your orchestra directors will explain to you, or you can come into our store at the corner of Brady and Kimberly anytime during our regular store hours. If you have any issues with your instrument, something happens, it gets broken, well, maintenance and repair is actually included in the program, no charge. Bring it into us, we'll get it repaired for you, and we'll take care of any issues with the instrument. We want the instrument to sound and play the way it's supposed to sound and play so you can focus on your learning experience. I think I've covered everything, but I just wanted to congratulate you again and welcome to the string playing world.